What is up guys, it's your boy Swollam here, back with another Classic WoW video, and today we are talking about Season of Discovery, a topic I haven't really talked about since Phase 4 I believe, or the start of Phase 5, where I kinda took a break from Season of Discovery and started playing retail. Now we're back to Classic fresh, and the thing is, I always said that I wanted to come back to SOD whenever there's new content being announced, which is basically what we were promised at the start, so think about Karas and Crypt, or even the Scarlet Halls raid. Now today we have some pretty insane news, and that is a blue post talking about the future of Season of Discovery. Now there are some things missing in this blue post that I would love to hear them talk more about, but let's just cover the blue post first, shall we? And I'm just gonna say there are some really good news here, so let's get right into it. This is the Season of Discovery update on December 16th, this was yesterday at this point. Going into the holidays, we wanted to take a moment to thank everyone who has been playing Season of Discovery for over a year, and provide you with a quick update with some things coming this week, as well as a sneak peek of what to expect in the new year. First of all, we have a rune broker vendor. First, we are planning to put out a hotfix update starting tomorrow with maintenance in each region, so Tuesday on North America and Wednesday on Europe, that will add a rune broker vendor to every starting area. This vendor will provide access to all class runes at level 1, allowing you to supercharge your alts right from the start. This has been a popular request for a while now, and we feel that the holidays will be a great time to pull the trigger on this one. We hope you all have fun with your alts or mains that haven't gotten to unlock all of the runes just yet. Please note that some discoveries in the game, or in the game world, may not function properly if you learn the related rune ability from this item, or from items purchased from this vendor. We plan to improve this over time, but we feel like it's more important to get this update out quickly and let you start having fun with your runes over the holidays. Now this right here is pretty important. I did scroll down too far or too fast, but this right here is quite important to me because we are currently playing on the fresh Classic WoW servers, and if you have ever thought to yourself, maybe I'll give Season of Discovery a try, and you haven't yet, I just want to say, this update right there made this the best time to try out Season of Discovery. You can have all your class runes available at level 1, which first of all, you can then see your toolkit as a class, you can get a feel for how the class feels to play, and you know all of the things your class gets access to, and you can play around with it at level 1. That by itself is great. And then you also have the thing that some class runes are really not hard, but like very bad to get through, especially this late in SOD. And think about Paladins, for example. You had an elite quest at level 20 that was designed for group content. As a warlock as well, you were designed to go into group content to get a couple of your runes. The Metamorphosis rune, for example, was designed to be done in a group. Now you could level to level 40 and then solo it, or a higher level and then solo it, but at level 25 it was group content. And then you had a couple of reputation farms. You had the Dark Riders quest, where you had to kill elite level 40s in pretty much all across the world. You had one in the Barrens, you had one in like Westfall or something, like Swamp of Sorrows. They were all over the world, and if you didn't have a warlock to summon you, then it would take you about 1.5 hours to get that rune. And they were also, once again, level 40 elite, so getting that at level 40, you either had to be the right class, a good player, or have a group. So I just want to say that that update right there just made me way more positive about Season of Discovery in general, and it makes right now a very good time to give it a try. I also feel like the fresh Classic WoW servers did bring a lot of people back in to the Classic WoW universe, which means that there might be some fresh blood willing to try out Season of Discovery now, that are now finally back in playing Classic WoW, and some of those guys might be willing to play Season of Discovery, right? And this is a great step to get those people interested, because now the barrier to entry is way smaller, if not even non-existent. So let's keep going to the next part of the update, patch 1.15.6, or Season of Discovery Phase 7 PTR. Following the opening of the Ankh-Raj raids a few weeks ago, we want to let everyone know that we will have our first patch 1.15.6, aka SOD Phase 7, PTR later this week. This PTR is an early version of our next patch and is mostly aimed at testing build stability, but there will be a small amount of new content to test. The content present on this first PTR is not the only content coming in Phase 7. Here's a quick overview of what will be available in the first build. First, we have a new set of shoulder enchants that allows you to utilize a single extra set bonus effect, drawing from those found on sets in Molten Core, Blackwing Lair, Temple of Ahn'Qiraj, Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj, and Zul'Gurub. Also, an early look at Naxxramas in Season of Discovery. We will post about this separately in the PTR forum, but we have some fun and new surprises in store for you. Now, while this version of Naxxramas is still in development and not fully complete just yet, we want to give a few rounds of PTR testing and get it into your hands as early as possible before the holidays. And also, the most dedicated PTR explorers may find a few other surprises out there in the world that hint at some other content or other new content coming in Phase 7 and beyond. You did read that last part correctly. We have more content coming after the launch of Phase 7 in Season of Discovery. As a little tease and parting gift, we will just leave this in here for you. Now, this is a huge teaser for the Scarlet Halls raid, by the way. Well, we speculate it's a raid. It could be a 10-man raid, 20-man raid, 40-man raid, or even just a regular endgame dungeon. Now, for me, I'm kind of hoping this is a 10-man raid, and keep Naxxramas as like a bigger raid, I guess 20-man in Season of Discovery, right, not 40-man, so 20-man Naxxramas, maybe 40-man, but I mean, probably 20-man, right, in Season of Discovery, and give us this as a 10-man raid. That would be lovely. One of many comments I've seen, for example, since Phase 2 and going into Phase 3, is that a lot of people miss 10-man raids, and being forced, actually in Phase 3 we could do 10-man raids, I think, but in Phase 4, basically we went from having 10-man raids to being forced to do 20-man raids, and at the start, guilds were formed around having 10-man raids, and having 10-man raids made it way more easily accessible to, first of all, make the raids, and also pug the raids. And as a friend group, it's easier to be 10 people than 20, right? So having 10-man raids just made everything way easier, in my opinion. And I just really hope that when it comes to Scarlet Halls, they do something creative. Make it a raid, make it a big, like, mega dungeon, I don't really care, just make it something great, and don't just melt all of the dungeon wings into one big wing. Do something new. Add some new bosses. Make it make sense lore-wise. New bosses, new mechanics, new loot, and also maybe a new wing that we haven't seen before. Something crazy. Now, there is a small part of me who think that this dungeon/raid doesn't even need to be in Tirisfal Glades with Scarlet Monastery. Like, first of all, you have SM right here, right? But you also have, in Western Plaguelands, basically on the other side of the mountain from Scarlet Monastery, you then have this, Hearth Glen. And when I look at the picture of the loading screen, this one wall, or like barricade to the left, leads me to believe this could be in a different place, like for example Hearthglen, could even be in Eastern Plaguelands, all the way at Tyr's Hand as well. Like basically one of those two places could also be where this is, because you have the Scarlet, or like the people of the Scarlet Crusade, they are in Scarlet Monastery, like for sure, but they're also up in Hearthglen, and they're also at Tyr's Hand. There is so many places this actually could be, and I'm really looking forward to it. I really am. This sounds really fun to me. And then, actually, looking at this even further, if we go back to the fact that there's a cathedral over here, if you go down to, for example, Hearthglen, there is a cathedral. Not Hearthglen, Tyr's Hand. There's a cathedral right here, like a cathedral icon on the map, right? That could be it. Or it might be Scarlet Monastery, like, could be. Definitely something Scarlet, that's for sure. And once again, the thing is, not everything is in this blue post. There's more content coming, and a couple of the fan favorites here are Karazhan Crypt, right? We were teased that at BlizzCon as well, when announcing Season of Discovery. So maybe we'll have a Karazhan Crypt dungeon in Phase 7, which could give people a chance to get some catch-up gear without raiding. So like Karazhan Crypt giving you, I don't know, BWL level of gear, AQ level of gear, or even just giving you a new currency to then spend on raid gear. I mean, we have the Tarnished Underman Reals, right? So we already have that. But maybe that could be a dungeon to give new players a way to catch up, and maybe add some pretty, like, good loot from there as well, some rings, some trinkets, something that gives even seasoned veterans a reason to do the dungeon, at least once or twice. Now, I did say quite early in the video, there's some information that I feel like is missing from this blue post, even though like it has nothing to do with that patch itself, but I would love to hear more about the future of Season of Discovery, and what happens to our characters afterwards, because to this day I still don't think they've told us. They just had at the launch, like when they announced the fresh Classic WoW servers, they said they would have more information about the future coming very soon, and I was just hoping maybe we'd hear more about what happens to our characters after. Will we have a Discovery era server, where you stay in like Discovery all the time? Or will we get transferred to Classic Era and they take away all the runes and stuff? That would be very hard for them to do, because they would have to strip our gear, strip our runes, and then give us like, I don't know, template gear in Classic Era, right? Or are we actually going to TBC? I would love to hear more about where the future lies, because right now whenever I'm playing my sword characters, I have no idea where those characters are going in the future. And when playing MMORPGs, that is a big part, knowing about the future and knowing what you're investing your time into in the long term. So I feel like kind of that is missing here, and I would love to hear more, but either way, huge news for Season of Discovery, and it's a good time to start playing if you haven't played yet, or just giving it a try. Let me know what you think about the news in the comments down below, and leave a like while you're down there as well, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video very soon.